If you would like your ICO reviewed, please contact us for our competitive packages. We do not review every platform that comes our way, only the top-tier ICOs that have passed an extensive qualifying process, businesses that we are considering investing in ourselves. Having said that, with any investment, there's always a potential to lose, so you must only ever invest in what you can afford to lose. Our contact details are in the description below. For Crypto Global News, I'm Edward. DAO, or DAO, is a phrase we're hearing more and more in the modern era. It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which is defined as an organization that is run through rules encoded as computer programs called smart contracts. A DAO's financial transaction record and program rules are maintained on a blockchain. Imagine for a moment there was a blockchain project with a built-in Turing-complete programming language, allowing anyone to write smart contracts and decentralized applications where they can create their own arbitrary rules for ownership, transaction formats, and state transaction functions. Enter Etherinc. Etherinc is making DAOs a reality. EInc organizations are borderless and decentralized. Just like Bitcoin, they are not limited by geographies, intermediaries, and other such artificial restrictions. Let's take a closer look at this new, very exciting project. Now, before we get into all the really cool details behind EInc, let's take a quick peek over at what brought this exciting new platform to life. Now, as the world gets smaller and smaller and also more interconnected, it's easier for people to do business across the globe and to collaborate on many different projects, especially in the world of business. The existing model of a company based in a single location where all of the people working for this company are controlled by one governing body can still function, but it's probably not where the future is headed. The future lies within groups of people who can find ways to work across the globe as a single unit, building teams of the world's most skilled and talented individuals, no matter what country they may call home. Imagine for a moment that you're based in New York, but you had a business partner who was based in Hong Kong and you wanted to start a new enterprise. There are multiple documentations and country-specific regulations for both Hong Kong and the USA, which you must adhere to and comply with to get your business off the ground. This is where EInc becomes such a valuable tool and such a viable solution for entrepreneurs across the globe, especially those who want to collaborate with projects across countries. What yesterday seemed like a myth, today seems like a reality. According to a report published by Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, there are more than 300 million entrepreneurs launching around 150 million startups globally each year. Now, while this number may seem impressive, only about a third of these startups actually come to fruition. So why do only 50 million of these new businesses get off the ground? There are a few reasons for this. Number one of the biggest reasons is these startups usually do not have the capital investment to stay afloat even for 6 months, let alone the idea of turning into a successful enterprise. Number two, different country-specific compliances and regulations create a lot of friction. Sticking with the idea from before about the person in New York and the person in Hong Kong building a business together, there will be a mountain of paperwork that will have to be filled out in both locations to appease all legal requirements in both jurisdictions. This does not even take into account the fees that will be incurred by the lawyer or lawyers who will be helping out with the endless red tape. Number three, costs involved in updating, managing, and safeguarding company finances. More and more money is spent in establishing a financial management system with a financial consultant or a CFO heading the company finances. You'll also be required to hire a chartered accountant for managing your ledger, calculating profits, reducing costs, and dispersing funds when they are required. Number four, difficulty and procedure of conflict resolution. Now, in any business relationship, there are going to be arguments of all sorts, no matter how cordial or feral the relationships may be. Now, there tend to be many arguments at the beginning stage of most businesses, as a lot of the issues between the arguing parties are just over processes. Number five, angel investors and venture capitalists have becoming discerning, while mechanisms like crowdfunding and ICOs have earned a bad name due to numerous scams. For those of you who are old enough to remember the dot-com boom, you will also remember that angel investors were throwing money around like it was Christmas every day. In contemporary times, the likelihood and chances of a startup securing funds from a venture capitalist or an angel investor is around 400 to 1. While there are other ways of obtaining funds like crowdfunding and ICOs, these ways of raising money have got a checkered name in some circles due to numerous scams happening across the globe, leaving the investors at a huge risk. The long and short of it is, startups face trust issues because of the high cost of setting up a multinational organization, which might not be necessary or financially feasible during the early stages of the project. A lack of organizational framework may result in disputes on various grounds, like distribution of profits, reaching agreements on voting, raising capital from external sources, bringing new members into the business, and transfer of stakes. Now, involving mediation or arbitration in case of disputes can be an expensive endeavor and are usually unnecessary pain for all that are involved and sometimes impractical. Now, according to EInc, a startup should aim to do the following: shape a world where people around the globe can work together as a single organization based on cryptographic proof instead of trust, and operate borderless, permissionless, democratically, and transparently with the consensus of its shareholders without the need of a trusted third party or costly intermediaries. EInc empowers teams around the world to create, manage, and operate decentralized democratic organizations that are more resilient and trusted. This enables efficient creation of value without borders, restrictions, and costly intermediaries or a trusted third party. This is something akin to what Bitcoin achieved in the payment space. EInc organizations that run with the consensus of its shareholders and operate democratically will protect the interest of the majority of the shareholders and in turn boost investor confidence.
When it hits you, yes, you shall. When it hits you.
So before we look at the actual rationale behind the fork with Ethereum, let's take a closer look at what a DApp actually is. Now, a DApp is defined as a decentralized application or applications that are digital applications or programs that exist and run on a blockchain or P2P network of computers instead of a single computer and are outside the purview and control of a single authority. After the launch, the EInc platform received a good deal of feedback which revealed the shortcomings of the existing Ethereum framework more than that of the EInc DApp. For mass adoption, there were roadblocks such as transaction speed on Ethereum, which was not that quick. This takes us to scalability solutions that were seen as alternatives were available at the cost of reduced decentralization, which hardly feeds into the whole idea behind cryptocurrency. So EInc evaluated other trusted blockchains, which included Ethereum Classic and Neo, along with a few others. But EInc needed a blockchain which had a wide range of support available to allow their user to interact with the EInc DApp easily, and the developers can contribute to the EInc governance ecosystem. Furthermore, Neo blockchain operates on a proof of stake or POS consensus mechanism using delegated Byzantine fault tolerance or DBFT, which is not decentralized when compared to the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains. The need for a purely decentralized architecture where organizations can run and do well without any intermediaries led EInc to create the Etherinc blockchain. The Etherinc blockchain offers both decentralization along with higher bandwidth needed to run global organizations. As the Etherinc blockchain was created as a fork of the Ethereum blockchain with replay protection, it has all the capabilities of the Ethereum blockchain with a series of improvements and powerful inbuilt dApps that run on EInc. The key improvements from the Ethereum blockchain are as follows: reduced block time from 15 seconds down to 6, which improved network transaction per second by 2.5 times, transaction confirmation speed by 2.5 times, miner reward by 2.5 times, removed the uncle award, and implemented a finite supply of mineable coins. The EInc DApp is actually a smart contract with inbuilt protocols to run an organization. Every EInc organization is actually a smart contract on the Etherinc blockchain. Next up, we have EInc grades. Now, a grade is how power is represented on the EInc platform. The lower the grade, the higher the power. The default setting is the minimum grade for a member role, which is 1. This is assigned to the CEO. Now, grade 1 cannot be assigned to any other role, and the CEO grade cannot be changed. Every organization can set their own roles and grades. 10,000 will be the default grade for all unassigned roles. Now, the grades are separated into two categories. Grades 1 to 1,000 can add new proposals and execute grade-based proposals of higher grades other than their grades. Grades over 1,000 cannot add new proposals or execute grade-based proposals. In any business, when there is a board or set of people in charge, proposals will be sent to a vote. With the EInc proposal system, there are 17 different types on the EInc platform in the form of smart contracts, which are broken down into two main groups. The first group is voting-based proposals, which are defined as Voting-based proposals can be executed or passed by voting on proposal only. A proposal is passed when the positive votes become greater than the quorum quanting percentage of the total voting power. Or, if an organization has 100,000 total voting power and the quorum voting percentage for that organization is 51%, then in order to pass the proposal, the number of votes required is at least 51,000 votes. The list of voting-based proposals is as follows: issue shares investment, assign shares, sell shares, appoint CEO, fire CEO, payment salary, change legal name, voting rules, operational proposal, close EInc, vote on proposal, execute proposal. The other category are the grade-based proposals, which are defined as grade-based proposals are slightly different from voting-based proposals. In order to pass a grade-based proposal, you need to have a higher grade than the proposal grade. For example, if an organization member with CTO role, grade 5, wants to add a new member, then he or she can only execute that proposal if the new member has a role which is higher than grade 5. In grade-based proposals, there is no need for voting to pass the proposal. The grade-based proposal options are add member, remove member, change member role, add new role. EInc Smart Contract has protocols inbuilt to allow cross-organizational communications with other EInc organizations, which have communicating EInc as a member. This is great so far as collaboration with other businesses, as long as they are using the same EInc platform. EInc NS is much like Whois, where every EInc organization will be registered with their unique contract address and other metadata of that EInc organization. Now, how does EInc NS work? EInc NS is a smart contract which contains the EInc organization's metadata, like the EInc organizational name, contract address, renewal data, registrar, where people can register as a registrar, and where to register new EInc or renew EInc on EInc NS by sending transactions to EInc Smart Contract. So what is the actual need of EInc NS? In a world of decentralized applications, there's no longer really a rhyme or reason to trust a single person or entity. Since the EInc organization's name will be unique worldwide, and the need of a process for registering and renewing EInc needs to be transparent, the EInc NS smart contract was created, as it will allow anyone to check EInc organizations, and because all details will be on the blockchain so that even Etherinc cannot manipulate that data. This further builds trust not only in EInc, but also in the companies that choose to use its platform. The EInc marketplace will consist of DApps, which will give EInc organizations a range of different applications to run on their EInc software in a way that suits them best. One example of the marketplace DApps is the Payroll DApp, which allows EInc owners to manage their employees and pay their salaries automatically, without the need of passing through multiple proposals or chartered accountants. Simple, efficient, and transparent. Now that we've discussed much of the functionality of the actual Etherinc platform, let's have a look at the actual coin. The fuel, if you like, of the Etherinc blockchain are the ETI coins, which form the transactional backbone of the Etherinc blockchain and can be used in many different ways. You can see on the screen that this coin has a number of functions on the EInc platform. Let's take a closer look at the layers in the actual EInc platform. Now, the Etherinc blockchain was created as a fork of Ethereum on block 5078585. ETI, Etherinc coins, are the driving facilitators of Etherinc, and they used to pay transaction fees. Etherinc protocol, peer-to-peer communications between nodes running EInc clients run using their underlying EInc protocol. EInc DORG plus utility dApps EInc DORG lets you create and implement DAOs on the EInc framework. One can use other utility dApps or create their own dApps on top of it. EInc UI Organization Explorer lets a user manage EInc, create proposals, take actions on the EInc organization, and keep a record of all the transactions. Let's take a look at mining. Now, when it comes to mining Bitcoin, 21 million Bitcoin can be mined over time by those who choose to be miners. But no one person can say when the last block will actually be mined. With Etherinc, another approach was taken. Instead of having a finite supply, there's a fixed time for the last block reward, which will be on or before Friday the 7th of February 2042. After this time, no block reward will be awarded to miners. The Etherinc block reward is 3 ETI, and it will have every 1,095 days, which is about every 3 years until Friday the 7th of February 2042. An approximate total of 94,238,438 ETI can be mined over 24 years. So far as the actual EInc coin sale, there's a few more facts you need to be brought up to speed on. They are as follows. The coin name is Etherinc coin. The coin symbol is ETI. The blockchain is Etherinc. The total coins on sale are 450 million. The price of one ETI is at the moment 10 US cents. The soft cap is $1 million. The hard cap is 22 million. The pre-ICO sale starts on the 7th of June 2018. This takes us straight into the breakdown of where the raised funds from the sale will go. Now 91,528,142 ETI will be distributed to Ethereum holders who had ETH in their wallet balance at the time of the fork on a ratio of 1-to-1. 100 million ETI coins have been set aside for the Etherinc Startup Fund to support startups that register their organization on EInc ICO. 450 million ETI coins will be available for sale in the EInc coin sale. 100 million ETI coins have been allocated for strategic partnerships, such as partnerships with other wallet partners to include ETI, and for partnerships that help further build and foster the ETI ecosystem. Now, only 150 million of the ETI coins have actually been allocated for the EInc community. These coins will be used to reward the founders, team members, advisors, and fund the product development, marketing, promotion, awareness, airdrop, bounty, and referral campaigns for the Etherinc platform. 30 million ETI will be held in company reserve for miscellaneous operations. 100 million ETI coins will be assigned for Etherinc future development and will be vested for 5 years, 33% released in year 3, 4, and 5. And with regard to the coins in the actual EInc community, this is where they'll be going. 60 million ETI coins will be available for development of Etherinc. 37,500,000 ETI coins will be available for team, will be vested for 6 months post-crowd sale. 30 million ETI will be company reserve for miscellaneous operations, and 15 million ETI coins will be available for marketing, bounty, and airdrops. And 7.5 million ETI coins will be available for the advisors. So what are the actual future plans for the folks over at EInc? Let's take a peek over at the roadmap. So in quarter 3 of 2017, the EInc DApp was launched in the Ethereum blockchain. They also launched ethinc.org, and the Etherinc blockchain research had begun. In February of 2018, there was the release of the Etherinc blockchain source code. 7 public Etherinc blockchain mainnet nodes were launched, and 3 public Etherinc blockchain Ropsten nodes were launched. Later in February of 2018, the Etherinc wallet was launched. Then the Etherinc blockchain API for the mainnet and Ropsten were both launched. Still in February of 2018, which proved to be quite a busy month for the people over at Etherinc, they launched their blockchain network status mainnet and also their network status Ropsten, not to mention the EInc Meta Chrome extension that launched in the same month. Then in March of 2018, the Etherinc public mining began. In quarter 2 of 2018, we're looking at Etherinc community building and the coin sale beginning. In the final quarter of 2018, what we'll be looking at are the Ether exchange listings, partner with wallet providers to include ETI in their respective wallets, and to invite startups to conduct ICOs using Etherinc blockchain. In the final quarter of 2018, we're looking at the DApp marketplace launch. The EInc startup portal launched to select startups based on community voting, and the development of EInc development apps for marketplace will also begin. First up in 2019, we're looking at the beginnings of diplomacy when it comes to partnering with countries to get EInc organizations a legal status. Later in the same year, we're looking at the name service and organization registry launch. And towards the end of 2019, we're looking at research to begin on new DAO models, and to wrap up what may be a very productive year, an awareness campaign to educate people about the advantages of EInc organizations, along with partnerships with universities to educate EInc organizational structure. Let's do a quick summary of everything we've been over. Etherinc helps teams around the globe create, manage, and operate decentralized democratic organizations that are robust and trusted. This enables efficient creation of value without borders, restrictions, and costly intermediaries or a trusted third party. Now, this is kind of similar to what Bitcoin achieved in the payment space. EInc organizations that run with the consensus of its shareholders and operate democratically will protect the interests of the majority of the shareholders and boost investor confidence. This is the overall view of what people at EInc set out to do. So, Who will use their platform? Now, businesses the world over for one, as many businesses are transnational, and now no matter how big or small businesses are, they have tools that allow them to operate across borders. NGOs and nonprofits would be the second on the list. Even if you're a non-traditional business of sorts, this platform can work for anyone running a large organization. So it'll be interesting to see all the different types of groups and businesses that take this platform on board. If you would like to reach out to EInc directly, you can do so at info@EInc.io. And if you want to purchase their tokens, you can do so on the link below. This has been Edward for Crypto Global News. Until next time, you take care.